All right, let's get right into it. India has just rolled out the biggest tax reform since the original GST launch. And the main takeaway for you is pretty simple. Your grocery bills are about to get cheaper. We're talking about GST 2.0, a change that's going to make a real difference. So the big question on everyone's mind, are your bills really going to go down? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. Starting September 22nd, 2025, a massive overhaul of the GST system is kicking in, and it's designed specifically to put more money back into your pocket. This isn't some far-off idea. It's happening, and it's going to affect every single household. So what is this GST 2.0 all about? Well, in a nutshell, it's a huge simplification. The government basically took the old, kind of confusing tax structure and gave it a major declutter. The whole point is to make life easier for absolutely everyone, from you and me to business owners. And here's the heart of the change. We're moving away from that complex four-slab system that we all got used to, and we're shifting to a much, much simpler system that's built around just two main slabs. This is the engine behind GST 2.0, making everything from saving money to filing taxes way more straightforward. So how does this actually look in practice? Well, there are two main rates. 5% for all your mass consumption goods, the everyday stuff, and a standard rate of 18% for most other things. On top of that, there are two special rates, a 0% rate for the absolute essentials, which is fantastic news, and a 40% demerit rate for luxury and sin goods. The idea is pretty clear. Make essentials cheaper, tax standard items fairly, and tax luxury a bit more heavily. Okay, let's get to the part you've really been waiting for. How does this new structure actually put more money back into your wallet? Let's just look at a typical shopping trip. Your shampoo, the tax on that drops from 18% all the way down to just 5%. Butter goes from 12% to 5%. And UHT milk, well, that's now completely tax-free. On just these three items, you're saving a direct 39 rupees. Now, that might not sound like the life-changing amount, but that's an 8.5% price cut that really starts to add up across your entire grocery bill month after month. And that 0% slab, honestly, this is a real game changer. We're talking about daily staples like UHT milk, paneer, and all Indian breads like roti and paratha being completely tax-free. They've even included plant-based milks. And here's a huge one. Personal health and life insurance premiums are now exempt from GST. That is a massive, massive relief for the middle class. The savings aren't just on things you buy at the store. Services are getting cheaper too. Think about something as simple as a haircut. Before, a 500 rupee haircut had an extra 90 rupees of GST slapped on top at 18%. Now, with that rate dropping to 5%, the tax is just 25 rupees. That's a saving of 65 rupees right there. And this applies across the board to salons, spas, and a ton of other services. Now let's talk about bigger purchases like household appliances. The savings here get really significant. A lot of items like air conditioners and TVs are moving from that high 28% slab down to the standard 18%. In real money, that means on a 40,000 rupee AC, the tax you pay drops by 4,000 rupees. That is a direct and very noticeable saving. And it gets even better on really big-ticket items like a new car. Let's say you're buying a small car for about 5 lakh rupees. Previously, the GST on that would have been 1.4 lakhs. Under this new 18% rate, that tax drops to just 90,000 rupees. That's a direct saving of 50,000 rupees in your pocket. That makes a new car a whole lot more affordable for millions of families. Now, it's not just us consumers who are benefiting. GST 2.0 is actually a huge win for businesses, especially the small and medium-sized ones. For them, the magic word is simplification. It means fewer headaches, less paperwork, and lower costs. You can see this simplicity right away just by looking at an invoice. Business owners don't have to juggle a whole bunch of confusing tax rates anymore. For each item, you just need the HSN code, that's just the product code, and the matching GST rate. The math becomes super straightforward, which really cuts down on the chances of making a costly mistake. So if you're a business owner, what does this all mean for you? Well, it means less time buried in paperwork and more time actually growing your business. Easier compliance and fewer recalculations mean fewer errors and disputes. And because the whole tax system is just more predictable, you can manage your cash flow way more effectively. It's a huge reduction in the administrative burden. Okay, now, no big reform comes without a few things to watch out for. So, is there a catch? And more importantly, what do you need to do to get ready? Let's quickly talk about what's getting more expensive and the timeline you really need to know. This is where that 40% demerit rate comes into play. It's targeted very specifically at luxury goods and so-called sin goods, so things like high-end cars, tobacco, pan masala, and aerated drinks are going to get more expensive. The logic here is pretty straightforward. Discourage people from buying these items and use that extra tax money to help pay for the tax cuts everywhere else.
Now, pay close attention here because this timeline is critical. The big switch happens on September 22nd, 2025. Any payment you make before this date gets the old tax rates. Any invoice and payment processed on or after this date has to use the new rates. So for all the business owners out there, it's absolutely crucial that you update your billing systems so you're charging the right tax from day one.
A lot of people are calling this reform a true Diwali gift for the common person. And you can kind of see why. It's timed just before the festive season, and it's designed to boost spending and just bring a bit of cheer by making life a little more affordable. The government has also promised to keep a close eye on prices to make sure businesses actually pass these savings on to you, the customer. So as we wrap this up, the final thought is really for you. This reform gives your budget a lot more breathing room, with savings on everything from your daily groceries to maybe even a new car. The real question is, how are you going to take advantage of it?